everyone. This is Duran's Healing, and welcome to tonight's Healing Circle. For those of you who are new here, welcome to my channel, where I provide weekly energetic updates for the collective. And as I began to blaze this fire tonight, gather around and contribute your very powerful energy. Whether it be a like, a share, subscribe, or comment below to let me know how these messages are showing up in your world. And with that being said, let's jump right into the stones to see what's going on out here in the universe. And the message that's speaking the loudest is coming from your spirit guides, your ancestor team, or your higher team, and it's landing itself in nature, which lets me know you're undergoing some version or some degree of change right now in your world. But by the way the shells are falling, I can see this change is happening in two key areas of your life. And the first having to do with the interpersonal relationships, people closest to you. And being that your personal medicine stone is sitting right on top of this ring, there's something about your dispensation of your gift that's changing right now, expressing out all that you are in a very unique way that may be having an impact on the people closest to you. What I'm gathering here is that on one end, people may be feeling you change or feeling the shift in your energy by way of your gift, by way of the expression of who you are in a unique way. And they may not be familiar with this kind of energy. They may have met you on a certain level, but now that the tides are turning or the shift is occurring in your world, they're feeling the weight of it. They're feeling the shift in your energy, and this may be impacting the relationship dynamic. You may not be up close with people as you were before, and they're feeling that. You may not be going to certain events. You may be reframing your energy from certain environments, but there's something about the people that I'm picking up on that are feeling the energy of your shift. That's one message that I'm gathering here. And the other download that I'm getting here is that there may be a shift in the way that you present yourself. Things that you enjoy or once enjoyed or took an interest in may be taking a hit or taking a shift, and people are feeling that. You may not be doing things that you once did. You may not be as enthused as you were about a particular event, but people may be wondering what's causing this. Why are you changing? Why are you pulling back your energy? Why is the shift occurring is what I'm gathering here. But the third has more to do with authenticity, because the personal medicine stone shows up in nature, and when it does, it lets me know there's something about your energy that transforms the world around you, transforms the energy, but it draws it closer towards authenticity. Something about your energy is radiating on this authentic wavelength, which is causing a shift in the people closest to you. If people are misaligned, if people aren't operating in their authentic self, on their authentic version of who they are, that may be exacerbated, that may be brought out to the open. And it may not be due to you calling it out to the forefront per se, because this gift speaks to the expression, but it has more to do with your energy showing up a certain way. showing up authentically in anything or anyone that is out of alignment with an authentic frequency will be revealed. A shift occurs, and that may be what you're experiencing right now in this spread of shells here. But either way, whether people are acknowledging the change in your world or people are feeling the shift in the energy by you bringing forth or drawing out the fact that they might not be in a certain authentic frequency, this is all motivated by this stone here, your healing journey. Something along your path has placed you in a spiritual space because we're landing in the fire. You've earned your place here. You've worked your place here. Your healing journey has placed you in the spirit world. So much so that this energetic thread of consciousness that I'm seeing developing here, almost like a box, like a short end of a box or one end of a box is what I'm seeing here. Your healing journey has boxed you out, or boxed you in is what I'm seeing here. Boxed you out of certain frequencies. People may not have the capacity to get in contact with you right now because of your healing journey. There's something here that speaks volumes about access. Boxing you in has more to do with you being committed, being focused, being devoted to a certain frequency that you cannot take your eyes off of. You cannot take your energy off of because it will derail you. It will ooze out energy away from where it is meant to commit to focus in on something else. But your healing journey is committing you deeper. It's boxing you into your commitment right now is what I'm gathering here in the flame. And it's about this Beru stone, or this ancient wisdom stone that is sitting inside of this box. It's almost like I'm getting something here, a download about a skybox, a spiritual skybox overseeing an arena. Yeah, like you're in a position where you're given access, spiritual access, something about a private experience is what I'm getting here. That is devoting you more, overlooking the crowd but not being in the midst of it. There's something ancient in you that you know, or you're carrying and you're committed to and you're devoted to, and it's private. People may not know this part of you. People may not have access to this spiritual skybox that you're in. But it's something deeply devoted here. There's something very energetically focused in on this energy that you're committed to. I'm not sure what this is, but the other stone that's here is a mineral stone, which speaks to is something about your dreams, your visions, your insight that affords you the right, affords you the access to be in this exclusive position in the spirit world. But this more so looks like you being in a certain calibrated energy. You may feel like you don't have time for certain things. You may feel exclusive with your energy. Like you cannot engage in certain events because you're radiating on this high vibration. And if you make an attempt to disrupt that or interrupt this flow or interrupt this exclusive access that you have, you may feel like something will be derailed. Something will be interfered with, and you will not risk that. And people on the outside are wondering what you're up to, what you're doing. Where are you? Up in the spiritual skybox is what I'm seeing here. Very interesting message that I'm picking up here in the stones. And I would like to dissect the second message here surrounding the change that you're undergoing. And what I'm gathering here is your clarity stone is showing up next to the bell. There's something about you or something about your world or your perspective that's changing in terms of your capacity to deliver change, your clarity surrounding why you're here. And you're realizing that you have a capacity to really bring forth something new, to bring forth something innovative, to bring forth something transformative. And you're realizing that the clarity that you're gaining at this current time along this thread of consciousness is ringing the alarm in your psyche. But there's also something here about your reassurance in that. Something about you needing to be reassured in your capacity to bring forth change. You know you have it. Anytime you step into a workforce, change occurs. Anytime you step into a social setting, people flock to your style, flock to your wording, flock to your level of insight. Everything in your world has shown you that. But now you're getting this change. Now you're feeling this wave of change. But there's something still here about your reassurance. Needing to know that you are who you say you are. But I can indeed confirm that here for you, because this clarity stone is attached to your other worldly stone next to your creativity that is also landing us in the fire. This lets me know that your capacity to bring forth change is truly otherworldly. And it's due to your ability to be creative, your ability to maneuver yourself in a way that fortifies you to have no end. You will always be fueled to bring forth this otherworldly energy. And whenever other people around you, or whenever the world feels that from you, their world is transformed. It's like this energy is moving through you because your creativity is sitting in the realm of spirit, letting me know that your capacity to expand yourself makes you similar to like a shapeshifter. Like you morph, no matter how complex the paradigm that you live in is circumventing itself under. Certain economic systems, certain class systems, certain political changes, none of that matters. Something in your creativity taps in and morphs itself, creating a kick, creating a bit of heat, creating a level of confidence within you to expand, to create, to move beyond, so that you can transform the world no matter what. By God. And not only that, is connected to this energetic wave of consciousness that is heightening itself up into the flame, that is increasing its level of knowledge into the spirit world. It's like this thread of energy that is connecting your creativity to the other side, the source of vitality, the source of light that comes to your connectivity has no end. You can create whenever, however you desire to bring forth transformation, is what I'm gathering here in the stones. Very interesting message that's coming from the flame. But at this time, I'm very interested in this skybox, in this Beru stone that's sitting here, speaking to your level of protection, but also speaking to something you're committed to in your gut, in your blood, through your veins, and that no one knows about. What I would like to do is gather some cards here to see what this energy of you sitting in the skybox is about. What is this Beru stone here in this energetic box about for the collective? And in terms of this spiritual skybox or the Beru stone, the cards that came out were spiritual progression, sound decisions, inner child wound, doorway, finding solutions, and geometry. And what I'm downloading here is that this space that you're entering into is very progressive. Like spiritually progressive is what I'm seeing here, like making a new trend, making a new name for yourself, making a new energetic space for yourself. And the realm of spirituality is what I'm gathering here. And a part of this has everything to do with you making spiritually sound decisions, making decisions that honor your inner core, that honor the flame that lives within you. Because you originally started out this process on a healing journey. And this healing journey spawned because of an inner child wound. What I'm sensing here is that some of you in the collective were very wounded or had some degree of wounding in your spirit, and you sought out a spiritual path to find answers or to create the clearing or the healing of what you endured. You did not want to live that way. You did not want to live wounded. You did not want to live in a state that made you feel insecure, that made you feel less than. And something about your healing journey has progressed. You have made strides 2, 3, 4 times over. And now that you're here, now that your healing journey is here, it has opened this doorway for you in the world of the spirit. Knowing that you cultivated yourself to be here. You have healed yourself in a way to be here in this spiritual skybox, but it's more so about you sitting in a space that you have created for yourself that has opened the door to the spirit world. Some of you may have developed a certain spiritual system, a certain mantra. I'm seeing an altar for some of you. There is something in this energy about a routine, about an order of things, the way you move, the way you structure yourself spiritually, energetically, to satisfy or to honor your spiritual body. And you have lived in this space for quite some time. And now the energies have merged or have aligned you with the higher frequencies of the other world, opening the door for you to be able to have access. Exclusive access to this unique space between you and the other world. And it allows you to find this solution, this doorway as you enter. I'm seeing Chronicles of Narnia. I don't know why I'm seeing this image. It's almost like you found this doorway into the other world, into another world, because you had questions, you had thoughts that rung over in your mind that spun from your childhood, that spun or created itself from the household you have came from, to figure out what the hell was going on. But you did not stop, you did not cower, you did not waver, you kept going. Now that you're here in this spiritual skybox, it allows you to find the answers, to find the solutions. Geometry came out by way of your dreams, by way of your energetic frequency. This is what you have found out. If you maintain a certain spiritual hygiene, a certain spiritual practice, a certain energy to keep you uplifted, it connects you with the wealth of information, a wealth of science, ancient math. But not only that, it's merging you with your healing journey. This is radically different than what you have experienced before. Spiritual progression. You may have stayed in a space of knowingness, a lot of wealth of knowledge, a lot of information, but being that geometry came out, the materialization of the knowledge that you have acquired is now turning into applied science. If the ancient Egyptians never applied their knowledge, the pyramids would not exist. You're stepping into the arena, the spiritual skybox, to transfer the information that you have gained into materialization. You're materializing this information, but you're sitting in this exclusive position because you're finally here. You finally made it through that doorway, and you may not be in the space where you can entertain certain things. You may not be in a certain energetic space to participate in certain energetic events, certain parties, certain avenues that may lower your energy, that may derail you from the blessings or this spiritual box that you're in, is what I'm seeing here. You're very committed. You know where you are, and you're in a very unique position right now that you've longed to be in. And oh by God, are the blessings flooding through you because you finally made it to the place that you've been longing for. Period. Very large message here in the cards, you guys. Thank you all for joining me here in tonight's healing circle. And if you stayed thus far in this very blazing fire tonight, please be sure to like, to share, subscribe, or comment below to let me know how these messages are showing up in your world. And with that being said, I would like to continue down this energetic thread of consciousness that started out with the change that you're experiencing right now. And this energetic wave of consciousness is accumulating, it's building off both of these strands from your clarity and your interpersonal relationships, like the things that you're becoming clear about regarding your spiritual creativity, and the interpersonal relationships that may be taking a hit, that may be impacted right now, is still growing, it's still evolving. You may be feeling it day by day. And there's something merging. These energies are merging, and at the base of this merge is your wisdom stone. Meaning that there's something very transformative about your wisdom. I'm seeing your wisdom not just a collection of spiritual knowledge, but this particular wisdom has to do with your ability to cut through the riddle, to cut through the puzzle, to see through the lies. By God. And it's not just that, it's, you know, that your truth, your wisdom to see through comes with healing, comes with clarity. It washes people from seeing the falsehoods, seeing the illusions from being presented in front of them. It's almost like as you speak the truth, it depletes you because it pulls your energy, it pulls on you. And something about this lets me know there must be replenishing. You must replenish yourself as you speak the truth. This has to do with your energetic calibration. You're energetically calibrated on a wavelength that requires you to speak the truth. And not only that, you speak the truth in a particular way. You call things out in a very sarcastic way is what I'm seeing. Your wit is used here. Your wit is like a knife. It cuts through the surface layer. It cuts through the small talk. It cuts through the professionalism or the way that people tends to socialize through small talk on the external level. You don't particularly enjoy that. Your energy does not have the capacity to stay in small talk, but for so long you want to get to the bottom of things. Your energy will start to pick up on frequencies, pick up on energy, and you can already start to see where people energetically are. And by God, if you hold that fort, But for so long, the truth will be unveiled. And it depletes you. But as you show up in the world, you must replenish yourself. You have to fuel yourself up, because I know it and I can see it. And also the liberation and obstacle is here. Of course, the obstacle is here. You cannot be liberated in this way to speak a certain truth, even through your wittiness, and not have an obstacle present itself community ring from the community around you. It's impossible. You will have to remove yourself from the community in order for you not to speak the truth. That's how you show up. That's your authentic frequency. And yes, you can play nice, but for so long. You can stay on a small talk level, but for so long. You have to get out of there, or the truth is coming out, period. And this is creating some degree of obstacle within you, wondering if there's something wrong with you. You're turning it in on yourself. For some of you is what I'm seeing here. Like, why do I do this? But you have no choice. You're built this way. You're built different than the world around you, because you're connected to a higher science. You're connected to an energetic wave of consciousness right now that has you in a skybox, committed to the truth, committed to a higher energy. Therefore, anything outside of that will be revealed. But I would like to pull some cards at this time to see what this obstacle that some of you are facing is about in terms of community, in terms of you speaking this wisdom, liberating not only yourself but others around you. I don't know if it's in a way that you say things or if you're too blunt. I'm not particularly sure, but I would like to see what the cards have in store for us tonight. What is this obstacle stone about for the collective? And in terms of this obstacle, the cards that came out were hard truth, overwhelmed, sweep, ancient philosophy, burning, and mathematics. Yeah, what I'm gathering here in the cards is that you're the kind of person that speaks the hard truth. And at times, this has always overwhelmed you. It's like you can feel this burning in your chest. It's like you cannot sit in it but for so long without saying what it is that you feel. And on one end, you know that if you speak what you feel, there will be consequences, and you will feel overwhelmed by the emotional tug of war that you have to go through with people by saying what you see, by saying what you feel, by saying what you pick up in your energetic body. Because the truth of the matter here is when you reveal the truth behind the wisdom that you're carrying, it will sweep through whatever illusions, whatever perspective that the other person or the other thing that you're speaking this truth to has thought about it. But the thing about this sweeping is that you're not saying things just to say it. You can sweep through the corners. You can see the dirt in the corners and you will sweep it out of there. You can see the dust around their energy and you're here to clean it up. And it makes you become this philosopher because you develop through your energetic body the abundance of wording. It's like the calculations of the energetic frequency that you're picking up on starts to burn you up. By God, you have to say something. And this is becoming or appearing as an obstacle in the paradigm or on this current energetic wave, because this is not how the world operates. The world around you operates in a very different way on the external. But for you, the hard truth comes up from your gut. The community doesn't necessarily enjoy hearing things that are counter. The issue is not what you say, it's in the potency of what you're saying. The truth does not necessarily come with you articulating on a surface level. You articulate to them where their soul is what I'm gathering. You speak to people on a soul level. The reason why this obstacle is in nature is because you're learning how to filter the system out. You're learning how to hold in the hard truth and provide a subtle truth to prevent you from being overwhelmed. Prevent you from being swept up in the emotional state that people tend to go into when they hear things about themselves that they don't want to hear. But something in your energy is recalibrating that. That's why this obstacle is here, so you can get over the external hurdle of going through this looping process. I'm seeing this emotional wavelength, this turbulence that comes with you speaking the hard truth. But instead, you're calibrating your frequency a certain way. You're learning to filter this energy out to keep the burning sensation of the depth of all the philosophies and all the math that you're gaining of information, the systems that come to you down, and allowing the top level to rise up so it's more palatable, so it's more digestible, so it comes off as witty, sarcasm, gentle, comes off as graceful, so that people are not offended by it. People are not feeling a way about it, but yet you're still speaking the truth. So you're getting off that heat that comes up within you, but not disturbing the consciousness so much that it malfunctions. You're balancing out this energy, and you're learning that. That is what this obstacle is about, and you're overcoming it. You're learning how to balance out this truth within you to reveal it in a very gentle way is what I'm gathering here. Very interesting message that I'm picking up in the cards. Thank you all for joining me in tonight's healing circle. And at this time, I would typically pull some cards or either close out tonight's healing circle. But what I would like to do at this time, because this cluster of stones are really interesting to me and pulling on my energy, so I would like to see what this energy is about very briefly. And what I'm downloading here is that there's something that you're nurturing in within this paradigm. You're nurturing in something very on an action level, very methodically, very intuitively. So you're listening to the information that you're gathering from your gut. Yeah, this energy is landing us in the mineral, landing us in community. There's something in your gut. There's something in the intuitive energy that you're picking up on that's pulling you to community. And you know this, it's almost like your responsibility. I'm seeing an elevation in your leadership role and responsibility by way of your knowledge. See, when I see intuitive pull, intuitive gut, while also knowing you're in a spiritual box, all of this encompasses your spiritual knowledge, your spiritual information system that taps you in to pour into community. It will be impacting the world around you, the paradigm that you live in, the people closest to you. And you're realizing the very same transformation that you're going through, the world will feel that by way of your energy, by the way that you move. And you may be moving in a way that people are not familiar with. They're wondering, why are you doing this? What's going on with you? What's happening in your world? But you're quiet as kept. Focused in on something more potent, more powerful in this spiritual skybox, but energetically you're still moving throughout this paradigm. They can feel this energy of you being in this exclusive access. So they're seeing you as exclusive. This otherworldly energy is still radiating outside of you. And the earth stone is in the mineral, which is very interesting because this says to me that you feel at home in community. No matter where you plant your feet, you will feel at home. You will feel a sense of camaraderie here. However, when you open your mouth, when you communicate at a certain level, the path of clarity shows up, which lets me know the confusion occurs with people around you, wondering who you are, where you are, and what you have been doing, because it doesn't register to them in that same way. If you show up in the community on a surface level, it will go very seamless. However, when you start to communicate, when you start to engage, people will start to feel like you're from somewhere else, like they can feel like you're registered on an exclusive level, but they cannot pinpoint where it is. Counter to this path of clarity in the mineral is the obstacle stone in nature. It's on the opposite side of one another. How powerful is this message? The obstacle in the mineral shows up as confusion in the community by way of what you say. This will be a challenge for you in the collective. As you continuously connect with people, you're figuring out how to flow, how to be one with the people around you as you sit in such a powerful position in the other world. And that is what this energy is about. And that is what you may be experiencing at this time. Nonetheless, you're carrying light. You're carrying the energy of someone powerful. You're carrying the energy of someone of importance. Though you may register back at home as a common man, your energy speaks otherwise. And you're merging into that frequency. However, you're in transition right now. You're changing and morphing into what you're becoming. Period. Very large message. Thank you all for joining me in tonight's healing circle, and I am feeling the heat. And with that being said, I'm going to take this time to come down and close out tonight's healing circle, and I will see you all at the next